Okay, well, the Summer Spectacular is over. I actually had to take notes thanks to a 14-person main event. We'll start off. All right, IC match, Ziggler-Kingston. Good match. Really good back and forth. No contest, next just running. It would look like Ziggler was probably going to win the match. Alicia Fox versus Melina. Melina came out in some weird, like, skin-colored pseudo-Aztec warrior thing, and she won with her version of a skull-crushing finale that's kind of like... It's kind of like a reverse headlock from behind to a skull-crushing finale. And then they interviewed her, and Lay Cool came down. Lay Cool was supposed to take on Kelly and Tiffany, but Tiffany, of course, is suspended because of her domestic abuse thing with her fiance, McIntyre. Big Show, Straight Edge Society, Show pin Gallows and Mercury. Pretty decent match. I was hoping the Straight Edge Society would have won, but it makes for a better feud that Punk wasn't involved in the overall pinfalls. That way they can push Punk versus Show for a later time. Sheamus, Randy. This match was so much more solid than the one they had at Rumble, it was disgusting. Much of the one at Rumble, it ended via DQ. At Rumble, Sheamus won by DQ. This time, Orton won by DQ. It was really going well. They finally got some decent chemistry out of those two. You ended on a DQ, so you have 2 DQs, 1 on each side. It works well for pushing a no DQ angle, for the next part. Kane Mysterio. This one was very good. You had the standard power versus speed. And in case you didn't realize, once you bring a casket down to the ring, someone's probably coming out of said casket. And of course, Taker returned. In case you didn't realize it, yes, Kane is the one who put Undertaker on the shelf. About as plain as anything they've ever done in wrestling, you kind of knew it was Kane. But then Kane laid up the Undertaker. Very interesting to see. Now we are on to the main event. Yes, there weren't that many matches, so you go right to the main event. I know I'm leaving out spots where The Miz was begged to join Team WWE. The Miz having a promo where he joined Team WWE. And then Miz not being needed on Team WWE. The 7th member of their team was Daniel Bryan. Yes. So all the people who thought that him being fired was a work, you keep on your conspiracy theories, If it was a work, for those who think Vince can't write a story, Vince writes a beautiful story. Daniel even told his fans and friends and family that he was, released because it was too violent. And I now go through the eliminations. Right off the bat, the Troll Doll tapped out to Bryan. Tarver beaten by Starship Pain. Morrison, Skip Sheffield's vicious clothesline. R-Truth, Skip Sheffield's vicious clothesline. Then we got to see Bret Hart in the ring. Smart, Bret Hart can't bump. So he used a steel chair, hit Sheffield. Sheffield then took a code breaker, followed by a spear. That's eliminated Sheffield. Nice way to make him seem like a power guy. Chair and 2 finishers. That's 3 big hits. Ironically, by all former world champions as well as all Canadians. So he took a full Maple Leaf offense to take out Sheffield. Then Utunga tapped out to the walls. Jericho got beaten by Ginger with the Ginger finisher. Which led to some, confrontation between Jericho and Cena. By this time, Cena had not been involved in the match. Which more that you kind of know, he was going to win the match probably by tap out. That's just what they do with John. Then Jericho came in. Jericho was eliminated by the Ginger Drop. I don't know what Slater's move is called. I'll just call it the Ginger Drop. Then he rolled up Edge, which then led to a minor attack on Cena. So now you're down to Slater, Gabriel, Barrett versus Danielson and Cena. So, of course, Slater tapped out. Beautiful. It is great seeing Bryan Danielson's, or Daniel Bryan, however you want to refer to him as, let's call American Dragon. To see him do his thing, to see him apply his craft. Oh, it was still made him look like $1 million. But ironically, he is $1 million, so it's not hard to do. Miz runs down, suitcase shot, and that's how they get rid of, Bryan. Then, of course, it is the 2-on-1 super beatdown on Cena. They DDT Cena on the exposed concrete outside. Gabriel goes to the 450, misses, gets rolled up by Cena. Barrett runs into the ring, drop toe hold, STFU. And John Cena, without hitting a single attitude adjustment, essentially helps solidify the fact that he is the heart and soul of the WWE. And that he's one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. And I have to die a little bit on the inside. Once they didn't have Cena tag in at all, it's like, he's not getting pinned at all. 2-on-1 beatdown of John Cena. Yeah, he's not getting pinned. Yeah, he's probably going to just march his way through and, single-handedly defeat 2 people. So the people who did the most amount of eliminations on Team Raw, Cena, 2 eliminations. Daniel, 2 eliminations. You had a spear, so you had 5. It actually worked fairly well. They made Nexus look very good. Right off the bat, laying out Darren Young, the troll doll looking guy, the Black John Cena, and Tarver. But, they made Tarver look good. Darren Young is probably the greenest out of all of them, so eliminating him right off the bat makes the match look a lot better. Great job on Sheffield. They made Nexus, even though they lost the match, look super, super credible. Which is what they really needed to do. And, for the most part, it worked. And ironically, this one went almost the full 3 hours. It's been a long time since, Vince has done a full 3-hour pay-per-view. Normally they're like 2 hours and 50 minutes. And this was actually done fairly well. I would have loved to have seen a tag belt match. We knew we weren't going to see the U.S. belt. I would love to have seen the tag belt get defended. All the other belts were defended except for the sawed in half women's belt. But all in all, it was a decent pay-per-view. And of course, the next one takes place kind of near where I live. Probably not going to go see it because it's kind of expensive to go to a pay-per-view. But now we got Night of Champions. Well, I guess we'll probably see. There'll probably be another Sheamus Orton match, and that'll probably be the final match, unless the stipulation that Sheamus had that if Orton loses, he doesn't get a title shot again, holds true, which makes for a very irate Orton, which means Orton could probably attack Sheamus, and then maybe have Miz cash in his Money in the Bank and become champion, so that way then Orton could feud with Miz. Maybe. But all SummerSlam was done very well. All the matches were booked solidly. With the exception of, the Melina-Alicia Fox match. Because now, if Alicia Fox would have won, she could have pushed her, on the most dominant diva, which could have led to like a multi-person match, which could have led to her not being pinned to lose the title, which makes for a more interesting story than Melina's super comeback and, dominates champion while I never lost the belt. There's not that much in the way of strong heels on Raw when it comes to the women's division. Unless they're going to have her fight Lay Cool. And as long as they still do something with the Nexus and John Cena to keep Cena away from that belt till H comes back and H feuds with Sheamus for the title, I think we could have a couple of good months of storyline left out of Nexus.